Ashley Kyle.
And I'm William Holtz, and this is your Lake of the Ozarks news update brought to you by Lake TV and LakeExpo.com and sponsored by Yacht Club Power Sports in Osage Beach.
Today we'll be talking about a fisherman lands the catch of a lifetime at the lake, updates on the toxic groundwater in Camdenton, a strange warning making its way around Facebook.
Before those, though, first let's take a look at some of the events taking place at the lake this weekend, events you're not going to want to miss.
It only happens 3 times a year. Jacob Cave Spring Swapping Days comes to Versailles this weekend. You can camp overnight or just come browse through the acres of crafts, goods, livestock, and all kinds of things you never knew you needed. Even if you don't plan to spend a dime, the swap can be a fun day for families to check out all the different animals and crafts. And you'll probably end up buying something. Gates will open Thursday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Admission is $5 per car.
April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and you can support the cause and enjoy some great barbecue at the Kids Harbor Go Blue Barbecue Bash on Friday. Kids Harbor is a child advocacy center that helps out victims of child abuse and their families. That's going on at Redhead's Lakeside Grill on Friday at 5:30 p.m. Tickets are $20 in advance or $25 at the door. You can find your tickets at Redhead's Central Bank or at the Kids Harbor.
On Saturday, it's the Dam Half Marathon, the Bridge and Dam Half Marathon and 10K. This will be the second year for the event. It starts on Bagnell Dam and runs across the community toll bridge onto MM and down Spring Creek Drive and back. It's a scenic and challenging course that attracts runners from all over the U.S. Lake of the Ozarks Fellowship Christian Athletes will host the event, and all proceeds benefit the group. So if you feel like testing your endurance in one of the most beautiful places on earth, the race starts at 7:30 a.m. There will be places to cheer on the runners. And if you'd rather not run, remember the Bagnell Dam Bridge will be shut down for several hours on Saturday morning for the race.
The next event is brand new to the area. It's the Lake of the Ozarks Wicked Wine Run at Seven Springs Winery. That's also happening on Saturday. It's a less intense race than the one at the Bagnell Dam. There's a 5K trail fun run that starts at 5 p.m. and the 1K fun walk starts at 6:30. Trails are brand new and they pass through the winery's 160 acres. During the race, you can even catch a view of the cave and run past the original Lynn Creek one-room schoolhouse. The 5K runners will celebrate with wine at the finish line, and the 1K walkers will have 4 wine tasting stations along the way. Just make sure you make it to the finish line for that one. Costumes are key, and they've got great prizes for the best one. After your race, enjoy the Wicked Post Race Party with food trucks, a live band, and of course, more wine.
Saturday and Sunday, you can also check out the Home Business and Lake Living Expo at the Lodge of Four Seasons. On Saturday, they're open from 9 to 5 and on Sunday from 10 to 4. This year's expo will feature a lot of different products and services, including health and wellness, plumbing and electrical supplies, home improvement and remodeling, and more.
Fishing season is off to a great start this weekend at Alhana Resort with the Early Bird Buddy Bass Tournament. This 2-day contest happens around the time bass are beginning to spawn, and 7- and 8-pound bass are often caught during this tournament. The tournament hours are 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday and 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Sunday. The entry fee is just $100 a boat and includes a complimentary breakfast both mornings at Bobber's Restaurant. Tournament prizes will be awarded directly following the weigh-in on Sunday at 3 p.m.
The Heart of the Ozarks professional business women are hosting their Quarter Mania fundraiser on Sunday, April 3rd. That's at the Inn at Grand Glaze. In case you're not familiar with the Quarter Mania, it's a live auction where bidders use quarters to raise their bid. More than 100 items are expected to be up for grabs, from golf packages to gift baskets and certificates to lake area businesses. The doors open at 1 p.m. and the auction starts at 2. Tickets are $15 in advance, $20 at the door. They include an appetizer buffet and a paddle for access to the quarter auction. All money goes to support scholarships for working women and local charities.
Well, that's just some of what's happening at the lake this weekend. You can go to LakeExpo.com for a complete list of the events coming up. A fisherman lands a monster bass at the lake, and we'll learn more about what the city of Camdenton is doing to prevent the spread of chemicals in the local well. That and much more after a word from Yacht Club Power Sports in Osage Beach.
Yacht Club Power Sports has expanded to ensure you have fun on both land and water, on the trails and on the road with Can-Am, Kawasaki, Victory Motorcycles, Arctic Cat, and Polaris, which introduces the 2015 Slingshot. On the water as the world's #1 Sea-Doo dealer, and are proud to introduce the Supra and Moomba boat lines to the YC Power Sports family. Look for our new showroom this summer off Formula Way in Osage Beach, and you can find us off Highway 63 in Columbia. Yacht Club Power Sports, where the fun begins and never ends.
What's been happening at the lake? Well, here's a look at some of the most popular stories from last week. A father and son visiting the Lake of the Ozarks for the first time had a fishing trip they will remember forever. On March 15th, Val Grickus and his 12-year-old son Ryan were fishing the Lake of the Ozarks with local guide Jack Yuxa. The trio were near the 8-mile marker of the Grand Glades Arm, and around noon they were fishing near the shore when Val's line went crazy. He thought he'd snagged a carp because it was fighting so hard, but Yuxa saw a giant bass boil and knew that he had a huge one on the line. The team landed the monster on the first try and found it officially weighed 10.11 pounds. Father and son said they had a great time, and young Ryan landed several bass that weighed more than 4 pounds that day.
Many of you have probably heard about the plan that has been in the works for Camdenton. RDG Planning and Design has been working with residents, business owners, and government officials for more than a year to create Destination Camdenton, a comprehensive blueprint for the future of the city. Now the city has an official plan and it's ready to start implementing it. The comprehensive plan was officially approved by the Board of Aldermen on March 15th. This is the first comprehensive plan the city has made since 1986. The full plan affecting city land use and budgeting is available online.
A man suffered only minor injuries after falling down a 40-foot cliff on March 18th. According to Sunrise Beach Fire Chief Dennis Riley, the district rescued a man who had been walking his dog near a cliff in Sunrise Beach. Riley says the dog had gotten away from his owner, and while trying to get his dog back, the man then tumbled down the 40-foot cliff. Firefighters made their way down the cliff without the use of ropes or equipment and were able to move him onto a responding water patrol boat. Now, amazingly, he had just minor injuries and was not taken to the hospital. According to Chief Riley, there are typically 2 or 3 cliff rescues at the lake each and every year.
We have an update for you on the TCE contamination in Camdenton. It turns out the city has spent nearly $250,000 to prevent contaminated water in a city well from spreading. Now it looks like they've been successful with that, but they could end up spending even more to comply with orders from the state. On March 1st, the Camdenton Board of Aldermen voted to enter into an administrative order of consent with the Missouri Department of Natural Resources. Modine Manufacturing and Hamilton Soundstrand are the former owners and operators of the factory that caused this issue, and they're also part of this consent order. City Administrator Jeff Hancock says this basically means since the city of Camdenton owns the former lagoon where the toxins were discharged, the city may be responsible for helping clean it up. In 1998, when TCE was found in Mulberry Well, the city responded by closing the well and preventing the water from entering the city's water supply. Since being closed, they continue to pump it regularly to prevent contaminants from entering groundwater. The water from the well is just discharged into the air where TCE dissipates. This remedial action is in line with the DNR guidelines. No one knows yet what the future remediation and protections will cost the city, but they're expected to be less than $300,000. That would be in addition to the $249,000 the city has already spent since finding the well was contaminated in 1998.
An unusual Facebook post by law enforcement has some skeptical and others just laughing out loud. The Christian County Sheriff's social media page announced that methamphetamine in southwest Missouri might be contaminated with hepatitis in staph. According to the post, the problematic meth is coming from Texas. So Christian County is asking local meth cooks to bring their Texas meth or ingredients to be screened. Now, are they serious, or is this just a brilliant plan to dupe local druggies? The tricky part here is that the post actually made it sound like if your meth passes the screening, then they'll give it back to you, which is actually illegal for law enforcement to do, obviously. The other mystery about the post is that the law enforcement in Texas say they haven't heard anything about contaminated meth coming from their state. So you decide, but we're going to recommend that just to be on the safe side. You ought to take all your meth to the local sheriff just to have it checked out.
Lake Ozark City officials are hoping the Missouri Department of Economic Development will help them demolish 11 vacant and rundown properties in the city. They're asking for about $56,000 in community development block grant funds to help remove 10 vacant homes and 1 commercial property. One of those is on the Bagnell Dam Strip near Dog Patch. City Administrator Dave Van Dee said the city would take care of removing and relocating utilities on the properties. Property owners also would pay some of the demolition costs. The city has been working toward this for about a year, and all of the property owners have consented to the demolitions. Currently, there are no redevelopment plans for the areas, and the properties would probably be green space for foreseeable future.
The Lake Area Chamber recently held a ribbon-cutting ceremony for SPUN, which stands for Services Providing Unlimited Network. Those attending were able to meet the many staff and volunteers involved in the organization as well as tour the center. SPUN, S-P-U-N, is designed to assist high school graduates and their families with job searches, college entries, or starting a business. The center is a nonprofit that offers career and confidence building programs as well as wellness classes.
Well, that's the lake in a nutshell. This has been your Lake of the Ozarks news update. Thanks for watching us on Como Connect Channel 90 and watch anytime on mylaketv.com.
Don't forget to connect with us on Facebook and Twitter at MyLakeTV, and you can check us out on our Instagram page at handle my_LakeTV. For Ashley, Kyle, and the entire news team, from here at the Lake TV News Studio, I'm William Holtz. Stay classy, Lake of the Ozarks.